It was another beautiful day or night. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. Look, excellent. What? Look. um, people were online complaining about Mortal Kombat exposed Nintendo so many times, man. You know. Okay, what's the difference between Mortal Kombat 1 on the Super Nintendo versus Mortal Kombat 1 in the arcades? See the difference? Okay, what's the difference between Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo versus Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcades? See the difference? Okay, what about Mortal Kombat 3? What about Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3? Mortal Kombat 3 on the Super Nintendo versus Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcades, or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on the Super Nintendo versus Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcade. See the difference? What about Mortal Kombat 4 on the 64? Same thing. What about Deadly Alliance? Same thing. So what about Trilogy? Just saying. So when it comes to when you heard people doing all that fake crying about Mortal Kombat on the Nintendo Switch, they try to act like they never had the problem before. If you go back and play the Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo 64, GameCube, yeah, you'll see the problems. Okay, the ones on the Super Nintendo were on cartridge, and the other was on the ones on the GameCube was on a 1.1 gigahertz CD. So those Mortal Kombats were missing a lot of content. That means that the systems weren't strong enough. So fast forward to the Switch now, the Nintendo fans try to act like they never seen that problem before. So when they were online complaining about Mortal Kombat 1 again, and this time around Liu Kang is like supposed to be like an elder god, so to speak, the Nintendo fan base try to act like they never seen that problem before. They live in denial. So Mortal Kombat 1 exposed Nintendo twice, but overall Mortal Kombat they never ran pretty properly on the Super Nintendo. I mean, because even Mortal Kombat 2 was missing a lot of content. So yeah, but yeah, that's what was happening. So, but other than that, man, the Wii U right now is still better than the Switch to this day, and Nintendo should have never built the Switch. You know, because I talked about this months ago when I first got into YouTube. I said with the Wii U they could have taken it, refresh, lengthen the screen, widen the screen, you know, put a motherboard. I talked about like taking the PlayStation 4 specs or Xbox One specs and put it inside the Wii U's tablet and console and put some more space on the CD. I talked about that months ago. So to see Nintendo now talking about the Switch 2 is based off the Xbox One and PS4, I just started to laugh because they really got that from me. But anyway, I talked about that months ago. So when it comes to the Wii U, it has nothing to do with sales. You had the Wii U, which was a handheld and console in one. You had the 3DS, and then you had the Virtual Console. The Wii U is CD. The 3DS is cartridge, and then the Virtual Console now, it's like your bookstore. It's like your library. It's like your bunker. It's like your archives for your games. So Nintendo had created a problem, but a lot of the Nintendo fans didn't see it. They didn't see what was happening in front of them. So because we had just went through the PlayStation 1 versus Nintendo 64 cartridge versus CD. But then when it came to the Wii U now, the problem resurfaced again. So the Nintendo fans they didn't see what was happening to them. You had a cartridge, you had CD, and then you had the Virtual Console. So when most people talk about the Wii U, one, they hide the 3DS out of plain sight, and then they hide the Wii U Pro controller out of plain sight. So they try to make it like the Wii U was the problem, but it wasn't. You had a cartridge, you had a CD versus cartridge, and then the 3DS was preventing the Wii U from growing, because most people were buying the 3DS thinking that the 3DS was better than the Wii U, but it's the other way around. The Wii U is better than the 3DS. The Nintendo fan base didn't even know what was happening to them. You have the Wii U, the 3DS, and the Virtual Console. So okay, what was the Virtual Console? So it was like, okay, it's like your bookstore, it's like your library, it's like your bunker, it's like your archives for your games. They didn't know this. Only thing they knew was what Nintendo told them. Oh, it's sales, marketing, commercial failure. The Virtual Console, right? It's supposed to like preserve video games. Nobody even knows this until I mentioned it to them. So it's like your bookstore, your library, your bunker, your archives. And it's like for natural disasters, the one made by man and the one made by nature. So Nintendo now was supposed to take the 3DS games and put them in the Virtual Console. And then they were supposed to do the same thing for the rest of the Nintendo consoles and handhelds that they made. Meaning the NES, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube, Wii, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, the DS, the 3DS. All those games were supposed to be in a Virtual Console, so you can play them on the Wii U. And then on top of that, since the Virtual Console now, it's like your bookstore, your library, your bunker, and your archive for your video games. You're supposed to be adding the extra content, all that missing content from all those games that you play. That's what people didn't see what was happening to them. So they tried to flood YouTube telling you, oh, it was sales, marketing, commercial failure. And then they try to show the families playing the Wii U, right? And then they'll try to hide the Wii U Pro Controller out of sight. And then hide the 3DS out of sight and try to act like the 3DS was the problem. Then they'll come out and tell you, oh, the 3DS is better than the Wii U. But that's not true. The Wii U is a handheld, a complete system. You had the Pro Controller, you got the tablet, and you can build that to the size you want it and build it as how powerful you want it. Then you had a docking station, then you had the console. So you got the best of both worlds. And that's what they needed to do. They need to refresh the Wii U. So Nintendo put it out there. Sales, marketing, commercial failure. And a lot of people took it and ran with it. But they never studied the system. They never studied the Wii U to see what they really had. They never studied the 3DS to see what they really had. And they never studied the Virtual Console because they didn't know. So once I explained it to them, now they got it. Nintendo should have stayed with the Wii U because you had the best of both worlds. And now functionality and utilizations of video games now come into play. You don't have functionality and utilization on the Switch. You don't have it on the Wii. You don't have it on the 3DS. But you got it on the Wii U. So yeah, the Wii U is better. And then that tablet, now it came with a lot of features on it. I mean, it had Amiibo support, a headphone jack, everything. So yeah, what Nintendo should have done was put a motherboard, CPU, GPU, APU, RAM inside the tablet. Do the same for the console. Fix the dock, and then put some more space on that 25 gig CD, and keep on using it. And that's what they should have done. But they never did it. They tried to fool the public in thinking that nobody wasn't going to figure out what was going on until they ran into me. Yeah. Because when people were saying that it was sales, marketing, commercial failure, I'm like, nah, something is wrong with that. Something is off. Something is definitely wrong. I mean, you had plenty of people who do YouTube. They came out in droves. Oh man, it was sales, marketing, commercial failure, and try to fool you. But when I came out and started explaining things, it makes more sense now. You're like, that's what was really happening. And then once I brought up the Virtual Console and what it stood for and what it means, now everybody catch on to the whole video game preservation thing. Now everybody trying to act like they know now because of me. But anyway, the Wii U is better, so it utilizes it. It's better because it utilizes every game you play. To this very day, right now, The best place to play Call of Duty is still on the Wii U till this day. Play Call of Duty Ghosts and Black Ops 2 on the Wii U with that tablet and that Pro controller. Oh yeah, you see where I'm getting at. Tears of the Kingdom, should have been on the Wii U. Mario Maker 2 should have been on the Mario Maker 2 should have been all those games. The Switch has nothing but Wii U ports. So to me, Tears of the Kingdom should have been an expansion to Breath of the Wild. Mario Maker 2 should have been an expansion to Mario Maker that was already on the Wii U. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe should have been an expansion for Mario Kart 8. And the same goes for all the other games that they took from the Wii U and put it onto the Switch. They should have been an expansion. So the Switch to me should have never been built, because you're limited in what you can do versus when you were on the Wii U you can play. Like for instance, they're coming out with Batman Arkham I think the Arkham collection for the Switch. But the Wii U already has Arkham City and Arkham Origins. Plus it has the Blackgate. Arkham City is missing the Wii U Pro Controller function. Arkham Origins has the tablet and the Wii U Pro Controller function. The Blackgate runs off the tablet, but it's missing the Wii U Pro Controller function. So the Wii U now was only missing Arkham Asylum, and it was missing Arkham Knight. Plus Arkham Knight can run on the Wii U because Xenoblade Chronicle X on the Wii U is bigger than Fallout 4, Skyrim, and The Witcher 3 combined. So if that game is that big, that means Batman Arkham Knight can run on the Wii U. So when it comes out on the Switch, you're going to be limited because you don't have that dual screen feature to where you have the map on the tablet and then all the function that you can do. And if you don't like that feature, you flip it over to your TV. You can't do that. So when that Arkham collection come out, it's going to be like it's going to be a drop off. So Nintendo should have kept using the Wii U. There were some things on it they could have fixed, and that was it. And then there's the there was the Miiverse factor. The Miiverse was awesome because it needed like a coloring option, painting option, unlimited text, probably some emojis and some memes. But that's what it really needed, And the good thing about the Wii U is it's like, okay, when you're on the console playing, you could be on social media talking to your friends on the tablet. For instance, let's say if you was playing, say, a Mario game, you could be on the Miiverse, seeing what people were doing, or you could send them a text message or whatever you plan on doing. So the system is that good. So with the Switch, you don't have those type of features. You lost a lot. So people are out there saying that, oh, the Switch is better than the Wii U. It's not. It's not even close. All the games that the Switch has are Wii U ports. Like Skyrim was supposed to be on the Wii U, and what's that? With that Dragon Dogma, all those games that you see the Switch is getting, they were really for the Wii U. The problem is the 3DS was in the way, and most people didn't see it. Okay, a lot of people didn't see it on YouTube. They kept coming out telling you, "Oh, it's sales, marketing, commercial failure while the Wii U fails." Not true. They try to say like, oh well, they talk about how Street Fighter couldn't run on the Wii U, but that's not even true, because Capcom put Super Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS when they had the Wii U to deal with. So you're like, that means if you put Super Street Fighter 4 on the 3DS, that means Ultra Street Fighter 4 can run on the Wii U. So yeah, the 3DS was the problem to the Wii U. They need to pull that out the way and take all those games from the 3DS, DS, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, Game Boy Color, and put that in the Virtual Console so you can play them on the Wii U. They wouldn't let you do it. The other thing was this too. When you go inside the Wii U's eShop, they had the 3DS games. They had the 3DS games and the Wii U games selling side by side. But people were asking like, okay, why can't people buy the 3DS and the DS games and play them on the Wii U? When I brought that up, Nintendo slowly removed the 3DS games from the eShop. So now when you went inside the eShop now, all you saw was the Wii U games, but not the DS. Okay? Most people hide the 3DS out of plain sight, but they forgot to tell you that the 3DS was a part of the Wii U's network. And they forgot to tell you that the 3DS was cartridge and it's a handheld. They forgot to tell you that the Wii U was a handheld and console in one. So the Wii U is still better, man. So the Switch has nothing but Wii U ports, you know. So and then you're limited with the Switch on what you can do. Look, couple I think July 31st, I came out and I made a video about the Wii U, and I was talking about the emulation problem, right? And I was saying that Nintendo was responsible, created that problem, but tried to blame the modding community for it. And in the video I said I was talking about Mario Kart 8. And I said people want to play their Mario Kart 8s on the Wii U. Nintendo came out August 1st and made a quick PSA, public service announcement, and tried to say, oh, Mario Kart 8 can be played again on the Wii U August 3rd. Because they took Mario Kart 8 offline for about almost 5 months. They did it back in February, like in March, so April, May, June, July, August. So when I made that video on I think it was July 31st or July 31st, they must have saw it. So they probably, because they got people that watch YouTube, so they saw it, and then they came out and then tried to make a PSA. I guess they were trying to see how long they could get away with it. But once I brought that up, they made the announcement quick, and then all of a sudden, oh, you can go back online and play your Mario Kart 8. So yeah, the Wii U is better, man. So Nintendo had created that problem, man, when it came to the Wii U situation, and a lot of people didn't. A lot of YouTubers that do YouTube didn't even see what was really happening, because they kept coming out to you, and they like, oh, it was sales, marketing, commercial failure. Why the Wii U failed? And that was never true. Oh, the DS is the 3DS is better than the Wii U. That's not true. The Wii is better than the Wii U. Not even close. So they were off. They were trying to mislead you. Another argument they'll try to use, oh, it's the Wii U tablet. It has a short battery life. They were trying everything to try to tear that console down because they themselves couldn't explain it. They couldn't even explain what the virtual console was. But once I came out and started explaining it to people, now everybody gets it. See, because now they knew that they were they were misled. You know. Now they understand what the virtual console stood for, the meaning behind it. And yeah, the Switch, nah, they should have never built it, man. They should have just refreshed the Wii U and keep on using it. And if, like, the Wii U has a 25 gig CD, all they have to do is put some more space on it, probably about 100 gigs total. And that Mortal Kombat situation that they had, it wouldn't be a problem. Just saying. So yeah. The Wii U was missing a lot of updates. If you take all the PlayStation 3 games, right, line it up, right, and take all the 360 games and then line it up, right, and then take all the Wii games and line them up. I mean, take the PlayStation 3 games and the 360 games, line them up, and then check every one of them off. And then see which ones are on the Wii, and then take that and then apply it to the Wii U, because since the Wii is more powerful than the Wii U is more powerful than the Wii, and then the Wii U is actually they say that it's more powerful than the PS3 and the 3DS. You take the PlayStation 3 games, 360 games, line them up side by side, every one of them, and then check off each one. that's on the Wii, since the Wii is 733 megahertz, check them off, and then you take that, and then once you see how many games that's on the PlayStation 3 360 that's on the Wii, and then once you see that, then you take that and then apply it to the Wii U, because all those games are missing a lot of content and a lot of updates. So yeah, the sales, marketing, commercial failure argument was a lie made up, man. It's just that Nintendo created a problem, and I guess they didn't think nobody wasn't going to see it, you know, so, and they were trying to use all these stories that wasn't adding up, you know, because me personally, what I did was, I didn't even use the internet for this. I just lined up the Wii U, I put the Wii U, 3DS, and I said virtual console, and I was like this, okay, what's going on here? Like, I've seen this before. What's the problem here? And once I figured it out, then I was going at the internet about it. So yeah, once I figured out what the Wii U can really do, and when I figured out what the 3DS is and its limitation, because a lot of things that people were saying, it wasn't adding up. So I kept looking at all three of them: Virtual Console, 3DS, Wii U. Okay, what's the problem here? I've seen this before, but this is in a different in a different form. It's the same problem, but it's in a different form. Okay, the Wii U, okay, that's your handheld, that's your console, okay. The Wii U tablet has a bigger screen than the 3DS, okay, that's one. Okay, alright. This is your handheld, this is your docking station, this is your console. The docking station has a USB port on it, okay. Alright. So, I got the Wii U Pro controller, the console, the tablet, plus a docking station, so that's a complete system, okay. The 3DS, okay, it's cartridge. Okay. So, okay, you're limited. Plus the screen is small. Okay. Alright, okay. What is this virtual console? That's what I kept asking myself, like, okay, what is this virtual console? What does it mean? What does it stand for? What is it about? And I'm like, okay, this is like, okay, you store your games here, but okay. So this is like your library. Okay. This is like your bookstore. Okay. This is like your archive. Okay. What else? This is like your bunker. Okay. And I was like brainstorming. I didn't use no internet for this. I'm like, all right, okay. What else does this thing do? What's it made for? Oh, this is like, okay, if your games get lost or they get damaged, you can go to the virtual console and get it back. So I'm sitting here brainstorming, putting this thing together, and I'm like, okay, so if a natural disaster hit, and I'm like, okay, and I had to break down what natural disasters is. So I was sitting there brainstorming back and forth. And I'm like, all right, I got this. Once I figured it out, I was attacking the internet with it. So a lot of people were stunned. They probably were stunned by what I know, because I didn't use no internet for this. I was like studying between the Wii U, the 3DS, and the virtual console. Once I figured out what was really going on, I'm on the offense now. So yeah, it was just a cartridge versus CD issue. But this time around now, there's the virtual console now. And once I figured out what that virtual console was, and what it stands for, and what's the meaning behind it, and I'm like, okay, you store your games here, okay. So that means if my console get damaged or whatever, I can go to the virtual console and once I said, okay, what's another way your games can get lost or damaged? Like in a fire, a flood, a hurricane, an earthquake. I was brainstorming back and forth. And once I figured it out, man, oh yeah. A lot of people back off. Okay? A lot of people try to challenge what I said, but what I'm saying makes more sense. Okay? There was a cartridge versus CD issue. But where the PlayStation 1 and 64 was just cartridge versus CD. The difference now is that virtual console. And people kept saying it was sales, marketing, and come on. No, it wasn't. It was the 3DS that was inside the Wii. It was in front of was in the Wii U's way. And the other problem is, you had people buying the 3DS thinking that the 3DS was better than the Wii U, and they didn't even know what the Wii U stood for and what it was, because they even said it with their own mouth. So once I figured out what the Wii U is and what it can do, yeah, I was coming at everybody about it. So yeah, it's still better than the Switch, because with the Switch I've been down that road before, with just a handheld, and you're limited. And okay, you got the docking station, but okay, you can connect the Switch to a TV. Okay, fine. But then when you connect it to your TV, you are still limited. You're back to a single screen. You're just back to the TV and the console, and that's it. But you don't have that extra screen now with the Wii U got. And that's why the Wii U is beating the Switch. And then when it comes to games now, the Wii U utilizes them. So you can see from Mario Kart, you can see from Call of Duty, you can see from Madden. When most people were talking about the Wii U, they left the Wii U Pro Controller out, and then they hide the 3DS out of plain sight. And they try to blame the Wii U for all the problem that Nintendo was having. But the real problem to that situation between the Virtual Console, the 3DS, between the Wii U 3DS Virtual Console, it was the 3DS, it was cartridge. Okay? Because if you remember doing the PlayStation 1 versus 64, you know, it was a cartridge versus CD. And if you remember PlayStation 1, Sony was that PlayStation 1 was getting so much games. It's like for every one game Nintendo was dropping, PlayStation was dropping 5 or even 7. That's how bad it was. So yeah, and it was like which holds more data. So if the 3DS is cartridge and the Wii U is a CD, that should have been the first problem people saw, but they didn't see it, or they refused to see it. And then there's the Virtual Console, so they couldn't even explain it. So once I figured out what was really going on here, oh yeah, and what I'm saying is it's making more sense. So people still try to come out and try to defend Nintendo because they don't want to hold Nintendo accountable, you know. So the Switch, that Switch should have never been built, because once they built it, you lost a lot of features that the Wii U have, and you can't utilize the games like you want to. Can't do that. So they should have stayed with the Wii U, man. A lot of the games that the PS4 and Xbox One was getting, or even the Series X, or even the Series X PS5, if they would have taken all the specs from the the PS4, Xbox One, and put it inside the Wii U's tablet and console, and put some more space on that CD, they wouldn't be having the issues that they're dealing with now. So yeah, now the Wii U was the answer, man. So like I said before, the answer was right in front of their face, because that's where a video game was. I mean, playing video games on a console and a TV, you're playing it, but you're not utilizing the game. You don't have that extra screen to utilize the games like you want to. And that's where the Wii U comes in. So yeah, the Wii U is better, man, than the Switch to this day. It is. Especially the way the games are coming out now, because you want to utilize them, but you can't do it because you're limited. With the Steam Deck, you can do a dual screen. You can't do that with the Switch. You're limited in what you can do. Yeah. So yeah, man. The Wii U, that console is still better, man. And then if you're talking any first-person shooter, just look at Call of Duty Ghost and Black Ops 2, and you'll see it for yourself. So you can line it up against. You can take the Wii U and line it up against, and go up against, say, the Xbox Series X, Series X and S, the PS5 physical and digital edition, even the Switch, any handheld out there. What the Wii U brought to the table cannot be ignored, man. Cannot be ignored. So the console is that good, man. So they should have stayed with it, man. Now, when it came to that Tears of the Kingdom, now I know a lot of the reviews were overhyped, because based on how Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, Breath of the Wild took advantage of the Wii U, I knew the Switch fell short in that category. So When I saw the scores for Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, nah, it's not better than Breath of the Wild. And I thought I was alone on an island by myself. And then I got to find out that other people felt the same way. Tears of the Kingdom is not better than Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom is not better than Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is still better than Tears of the Kingdom because of what the Wii U brought to the table. That's why it's holding up. Even though they took Breath of the Wild and tried to port it to the Switch, you're limited in what you can do versus when you were on the Wii U and when you were playing. So yeah, a lot of people right now saying Tears of the Kingdom is not that good, but you know, people are gonna have their opinions. I mean, some people like Tears of the Kingdom and others don't. So you know, me, I'm one of them. So I'm like, it's not better. It should have been Tears of the Kingdom should have been a expansion for the Wii U. Yeah, should have been. But they went and built the Switch. Yeah, and they're running into all kind of problems right now. So yeah, they should have stayed with the Wii U because it was the answer to their gaming needs. Like whatever shortcomings they were about to face, whatever shortcomings the Nintendo fan base was about to face, the Wii U had them covered. And I've said this months ago. So yeah, Wii U is better, man. So yeah, I mean, they're getting a lot. Those games that are on the Switch, they were really for the Wii U, and those games on the DS, the 3DS, and all those Game Boys, plus all those Nintendo consoles from the Wii, GameCube, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, NES. Those games were supposed to be in a virtual console, and they were supposed to be collecting all those updates so you can play them on the Wii U. Yeah, the Wii U is just better, man. So yeah, still is to this day. Still is, man. So yeah, they should have kept using it, you know, because that's where we are in video games. Because look, when you were playing on the NES, Super Nintendo, the GameCube, the Wii, you weren't utilizing the games like they were meant to be utilized. But once you got to the Wii U, now functionality and utilization comes into play. So Nintendo should have stayed with it, man. So yeah, the console is that good, man. But you know, when I seen all the games the Switch is getting, and I'm like, those games were for the Wii U. All because they went in. All because they refused to give the 3DS up. What they should have done was taken all the 3DS games and put them in a virtual console and refresh the Wii U, continue using it. So in those games that they're getting now, they can take full advantage of those games. That's what they should have done. But they refused to do it. So now when they went and built the Switch now, it's a drop off. You don't have this. You can't utilize the games like you would when you were on the Wii U. So yeah, that's why the Wii U is still so good to this day. Because a lot of people now are seeing it for themselves. Like you're asking yourself this question, like, why was the Switch built again? Just saying. So yeah, the Wii U, it's that good, man. It's that good. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, because especially like when I'll think of it, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, Dragon Dogma, Final Fantasy, Crisis Core, all those, because that dual screen feature, and like if you're playing on, you got the map, and if you don't like that view, you switch to the TV and all that. Yeah. Priceless. So yeah, the Wii U is still better than the Switch. Anyway, leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris to the Star Wars and Star Trek thing, or Dark Side. Peace.